Good evening, everyone. Please sit down. I am very happy to be here. Davao is known for many things, but tonight I want to stress Davao as as an important part of actually two of our super regions. One is the Agribusiness Mindanao, and the other is the Cyber Corridor. So I am here as part of a tour of the super regions. As I said, Agribusiness Mindanao is one of the regions. Tourism Central Philippines is another. The North Luzon Agribusiness Quadrangle, the Urban Luzon Beltway, and the Cyber Corridor. These super regions were designed to spread development away from an inequitable concentration in Manila. The Cyber Corridor was identified by the private sector, the academia, and government, comprising the strongest potential locations for ICT investments like call centers, back office, software development, medical transcription. What is medical transcription? Well, we'll give I think, of course, our agents here know what it is, but for purposes of the media and for purposes of the general public who will listen to the media and read the media, an example of this would be an American doctor talking into a microphone and discussing the diagnosis of the patient, then that has to be digitized. His voice tape is sent to the Philippines, and the Filipino transcriber puts it together. Of course, that means that you cannot have just anybody coming from the street. It's somebody who has to know medical terms and understand something about medicine. So that's one example. Engineering design. I think we're all aware that animation. Pixar uses animation services from the Philippines, and game development. The IT corridor or the cyber corridor includes the two original ICT centers of excellence, Metro Manila and Metro Cebu, and 10 so-called next wave cities being promoted as the best new destination for ICT. Metro Laguna, Metro Cavite, Iloilo, Bacolod, Metro Pampanga, Metro and Central Bulacan, Cagayan de Oro, Lipa, and Davao. That's why I'm here tonight. To announce that Davao is an important part of our cyber corridor. It is one of what we call the next wave cities for ICT investment. Some of the reasons given for putting Davao in the top 10 next wave cities is that Davao has nearly 500,000 high-quality workers. You know, that's the largest talent pool among all the next wave cities. You will not find another city in the Philippines or even a group of metropolis cities in the next wave city having that number. So no wonder there are 3 PESA IT parks, including this one, plus facilities in Ayala Land, Robinson's Land, and SM, and 6 more applying. And I understand there are 18 call centers in Davao City with almost 7,000 employees, including major players like Callbox, Cyber City, Global, Connect, Sutherland, Western Watts, and our host, Concentrix. Thank you. Indeed, Davao has come a long way as far as ICT is concerned. Actually, the Philippines itself has come a long way since January 2001. Many have forgotten much about the tumultuous time almost 10 years ago. That at that time, the nation was on the brink of political chaos and financial bankruptcy. The economy was jumped in reverse. Few investments were being made. Few jobs were being created. The debt of the government and its corporations of 3.6 trillion pesos was bigger than our GDP of 3.3 trillion pesos. There are almost no foreign reserves. It was a time of lower salaries and higher prices. tax revenues were so low that we could hardly invest in expanding healthcare, improving education, and providing clean water and needed electricity to remote barangays. Into this dismal picture we stepped. I did not seek the office of the president in 2001. It was thrust upon me. But rather than shirk from this onerous task, we rolled up our sleeves, determined to turn the Philippines around. We were focused like a laser beam on delivering better, real results to better the lives of ordinary Filipinos. But as an economist, I knew that to reverse years of economic decline, we had to instill fiscal discipline, grow the economy, and invest in human and physical infrastructure like the completion of the modern Davao International Airport. These actions would form the building blocks of a turnaround that would deliver an unprecedented 36 quarters of uninterrupted growth, create 9 million new jobs, add 53 million people to healthcare, with government coffers that helped us withstand the global economic crisis. In my first State of the Nation address in 2001, I said that we would create wealth by developing the labor-intensive, skills-intensive services such as ICT. From scratch, with only 2,000 workers in year 2000, we created what is today a global powerhouse, the Philippine BPO industry. We achieved this by promoting strategic investments in 3 areas. First, digital infrastructure. We encouraged more broadband services in cities and identified growth areas. Thus, the cost of international calls went down from 40 cents to 2 cents a minute for those using VoIP. The number of internet users jumped from 2 million in year 2000 to more than 24 million today. And so that no Taiwan tremor or tsunami can cut off our cyber services from their global clients, we encourage PLDT and Globe to invest billions in having more than one international telecommunications gateway into the country. Here in Davao, all BPO facilities are supported by Bayantel, PLDT, and Smart, which offer broadband connection with resiliency and redundancy. So if one system fails, the others are still there. In fact, in 2008, PLDT upgraded its network facilities for several IT BPO locations in Mindanao. The second area of investments was an appropriate legal and policy environment. We created the Commission on ICT, headed now by Chairman Ray Chua over here. Are you the youngest cabinet member, or is Durano younger than you? You're the youngest, but that's the reason why, because ICT is an industry of the young people.